Hello, Stephen here again. I'd like to give you another update video on what I've been up to for the last little bit. So the last few weeks I've been doing some more stuff on Schematic MetaBlocks in order to finish off the ruins for Steam and Steel. So the ruins generation is working, not really worth demonstrating on account of the fact that they're still not quite right. There's still a bit more work to do before I really want to show them off on YouTube. So one of the problems that I had when I was working with the schematics is we started doing some updating, and one of the problems that I had is that the ruins were spawning well above ground, when some of the schematics, as you're about to see, are very clearly designed to actually sort of go down into the ground. So I've added some stuff to Schematic MetaBlocks to help identify what is the ground level of a ruin. And also, I found it particularly hard using Schematic's star menu in here to sort of set your red and your blue points, because the moment that you leave a world and go back in again, it sort of disappears. And if you've got multiple schematics you're trying to maintain, that's not really great for working with. So and then there was one more problem that I faced, which I'll show you now. So if I go SNS load schematic from resource, and let's do the medium bunker. Oops, potato spawned indeed. Okay, so here is one of the ruins that we've been given. Okay, now the problem is that if I wanted to make change to this ruin, say for instance adding in the new origin block, the problem that I have with this is that I've lost all of my explicit air. I'm going to have to recreate that all over again. So I've added support to Schematic MetaBlocks to actually support recovering a schematic. So if I go in here and I'll go Schematic MetaBlock, recover schematic. Now this doesn't work with resources, this works with saved files, so you might have to actually make sure your schematics are available in the /schematics directory of your mod root directory. But I've already put all of these schematics in the directory as well. Now, so there's a few things that you'll notice that are different between these two, one of which is this red box, which I'll get to in a moment. The other thing is that it's actually maintained all of this stuff. So, and there is a bug in it. That's quite frustrating. Alright, I will fix that, never mind. By the time that you guys see this, it will be resolved. So, let's put this down here. Weird, didn't even need to be there. Anyway, putting all of that aside. Okay, so it's recovered the schematic. It's actually put these things down. These are not necessarily in the same location they were originally. They've been put down in locations that are required, because like when you recover your schematic, you might have done it against different chunk boundaries. And if you recall correctly, these things only work within a single chunk. So if your chunk boundaries are different, I've recalculated everything for you and just put them down wherever there is a free air block. So, the origin marker will basically declare the ground level. So this little marker here is supposed to show you that this is where the floor will be. So when you go in here, you will find that it is it will be laid out like this. Let's turn these sounds down a little bit. That's a little louder than I thought it would be. Yep. So you'll find that this line here will be the top of the area that you're working with. So it's aligned with your feet. So that was the one major feature that I wanted to actually add to these ruins. But in order to do that, I needed to be able to preserve the schematics on the inside of this. And even better is the ability to actually preserve the rectangle of the schematic itself, which is what these are. So these are new region blocks. And there is a tool that I've created to actually use them. That's this meta tool here. So you can shift the modes of this by holding down shift and right clicking. So I'm holding down space as well because I'm in a void world to stop myself from falling into the void. So the first of these modes is the push mode. So this allows you to quickly resize your schematics and actually align them up with what you've got. The next mode is pull, which does the same, but is a little more convenient, like if you're doing this in a world that isn't a void world and you want to put this into the ground a little bit. Now you'll notice that these blocks here are not part of the schematic. They actually form a point here, and they will not be part of the schematic. They will sit on the outside. And that way, if you actually had a block sitting right in the corner over here, for example, which is where I was going to put it, you wouldn't be able to, I'd have to do something really fancy with figuring out how to actually replace that block. So that's the push and pull. Now the next thing is kind of more related to actually creating regions. So let's just quickly create a region. So you'll notice that when you put this down for the first time, that it's not actually in the right place. And then we'll put another one down over here. Pull, pull, pull. Boom, boom, boom. So these two aren't actually linked together at all. So we'll put this in link mode. You right click on it once, and at this point here you can see it has a location assigned to it. And now when I right click on this one, it will form a region. So at this point here we can refine the region by using the push and pull. So that looks fine for that, but I haven't got the pipe, so I'll put that there. Oops. We're also not quite low enough to capture one more. There we go, now we've captured all of that. And now we've got the whole thing on the inside. Now once you've actually got, if you need to unlink it because, say for instance, you've accidentally put down 2 or 3 of these things and you've selected the wrong one, you can right click on it with the unlink region block to actually relink it. And likewise, if you're in the middle of linking a region and you've decided, oh no, I didn't mean to do that, I wanted to do this one, then there is a mode called Clear Meta Tool. And right clicking on that should clear the thing so that it's no longer pointing at the right thing, so you don't accidentally try linking this one to that one. So let's just quickly relink this again. Oops. The other thing you can do is right click on the same block twice. That also resets the region. Alright, so once you've gotten your region set, the next thing that you'll want to do is actually set the schematic's name. Ruin temp, for example. And then finally the last mode is save schematic. So this works with Schematica and actually issues a save command to Schematica when you right click on this block with the save mode. And once you've done that, at this point here I should be able to go over here and go load schematic ruin temp, and it will load the schematic back in. So as with all schematic MetaBlocks, none of these things are actually persisted into the thing. The origin is stored into the metadata of the ruin so that you can get at it when you're using the loader. There's a loader which I've provided with schematic MetaBlocks to sort of help get on your way. A bit of lag for no good reason. So that's really the whole thing in a nutshell. There's nothing else really added to it. The next phase is to actually get the Steam and Steel schematic loader to actually work better with the origin block. Oops. So now that we've actually got an origin on here, let's just save this. Has it got a schematic name? No. This is bunker medium 00. Let's call it B. Then we'll save it. There we go, schematic saved. Now I don't have to do that one again, and now I can just move on to the next one. Recover schematic 01. That's where I want my thing to be. And you'll notice that normally it does actually remember the names of the schematic when you recover them, so it should just be as simple as load it, change it, save it. So yeah, that's the changes to schematic MetaBlocks, and more changes to Steam and Steel will be coming in the very near future. Thanks for your time.